Thank you so much for being here today, Michelle. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Allegra Pacheco. I'm actually the owner of Havana's 13. Havana's 13 is a global movement towards love, starting with self. And as a childhood narcissistic abuse survivor and breast implant illness survivor, it has been part of my passion to share tools that have helped me on my healing journey. Because when I went through the things that I went through, this was so many years ago, and literally the options were go to therapy and pray and hope that you want to be here. And for me, that really didn't work because I had so many things that I carried around with me. Losing my brother at 12 years old was not easy because when I was dealing with those emotions and with that grief, and as we all know that when we're developing, that's a very crucial time. I felt like no one really understood me. And I am so glad to have you here, Michelle. I met you a few years ago, and our connection has been absolutely amazing in the sense that I totally bond with you. I trust you. You're someone that I feel like I can go to whenever I have any type of issues. And to me, that's very important is trust. Whenever you're working with a practitioner, in my opinion, you have to have that connection as a person and you have to have that trust. And today we're going to be talking about tarot, and Michelle Albers is here with us. She's also a business owner. She owns JD. She's a wellness and health practitioner, and she is also a tarot card reader and instructor. And for me, I was just absolutely over the moon to have her here because what I have experienced is many times in our life, we have these opportunities to try something different, right? And we may have these preconceived notions or conditioning and programming about how we feel about a certain thing. And for me, I know that tarot was something growing up in a Catholic Hispanic background. It was something that was definitely frowned upon. And I'll be 100% honest, the first time that I went to a tarot card reader, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm doing something really bad here. Please forgive me, and since that first reading coming to today where I'm at, I believe that tarot is something that is a tool. And I believe it is something that is very misunderstood, very misjudged. And when I think of tarot and what the general population thinks of tarot, I think of some crazy lady over here with the crystal ball, telling you all these horrible things. And God, goodness, I mean, this was all brought to you by Hollywood. I mean, when we think of tarot and we think of that, that's the conditioning and programming that right away comes to all of us. I have had plenty of experience with tarot card readers. I got my first tarot card reading when I was 21 years old. And let me tell you, tarot card readings, tarot card readers are just like everything else in life. I've had some good ones in my opinion, and I've had some that I was like, wow, that was a total interesting and experience that was not for me. And for me, my inner compass is always the one that guides me, my inner knowing, my inner self. So whenever I want to kind of ask that question as far as like, is this for me? It's something that I always ask myself. But what I absolutely love about Michelle's approach, and I'm going to introduce her here in a moment and just have us talk. I'm checking our Facebook if we have any questions right now. So far, so good. We don't. But just talking about tarot, as far as that goes, there's a lot of people that have an opinion about it, right? And I've had different readings from different decks, and different perspectives. And the perspective that you offer, Michelle, is one that I am absolutely in love with, because it's not one of gloom and doom. It's not one that's telling you, you know, and I'm going to give you this example because I have had a reading like this, and I don't appreciate these readings, nor do I believe in them. It's the reading where someone will tell you, oh, yeah, you know, there's someone out here that's going to pass away on this month and this day or whatever. And for me, that's not really legit to me. And I would really love for you to explain to us how you use tarot, because as I was getting to before I kind of sidetracked, was that tarot, just like tarot readers, just like everyone else in this world, in my opinion, are often very generalized, and they're often judged and lumped into one category. And that's what I'm here to shatter, is that judgment and that sort of thought that, oh my gosh, she reads tarot, she's horrible, because I absolutely adore you and I love you, and you have been such a positive force in my healing journey. And I really want to share with the world today your gifts and your talents. And I would love for you to speak to us about your approach with what tarot is to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you too. We always have so much fun when we connect. I'll tell you, I started in that lane, the lane of tarot is bad, tarot is scary, I might be damaging my soul, I don't think it's for me. So I understand that perspective. And over time, I took one class because for whatever reason, it just sort of kept coming up for me. And I was like, curious, I guess. And it just didn't quite feel right that it was evil or that it was bad or that it was, you know, it always felt more good than bad. And part of that was my teacher. Like the very first experience I had with tarot was with a teacher who I trusted, who I had built that trust with, which doesn't come easy for me. You spoke about trust earlier, and I agree with you. I think to be in a state of trust with a practitioner opens many more doors than if you haven't built that. And part of doing things like tarot reading and being a healing catalyst and strategist is to learn how to build trust quickly, you know, but authentically, not just baloney that is just there for show. And so for me, tarot, I don't love the word psychic. I mean, does it fit? Sure, maybe, but I'm not a fortune teller. I don't even believe in asking questions about timelines or about what will happen. I do use tarot as a tool to connect with our inner self and our divine power, whoever that is for you or whatever that looks like for you in your own faith. And it's a way to connect with your inner wisdom that we sometimes forget about. And so for me, that's what it is. And it's about a snapshot of the energy right here, right now, so that we can get guidance about what's accurate today. And so for me, if I'm in a big, huge, deep dive swirl that is not going well for me, I can't read tarot for myself or others for that matter. But if I'm in a place where I'm just kind of stuck in a loop, like a mental loop, and I need a new perspective, the cards are a beautiful tool for that. And here's the thing about tarot or any tool that we use. We're human and we're divine. Our human likes tools. Our human likes a way to make it logical. Our human likes a way to make it easy to like touch, to be tangible. And our divine already has the answers. Like we already know them, but we don't know how to connect with them.
Right. And real quick, Michelle, I just want to interrupt because we do have some interaction on our live.
Okay.
We have Flores who is joining us. Hi, Tina. Thank you so much for joining us on this live. I'm so grateful for your participation. So I did ask her if she had any questions, and she said that she's always thought that it was a bad vibe. And I'm so glad that she says that, because that's one of the misconceptions that I'm so glad that you're here to kind of talk about. Like, can we sort of, I guess, talk about your experience with that, right? And what is your opinion on that on that statement that Tina just made.
Yeah. And I want to make it really crystal clear that I'm not here to change anyone's mind. Tarot was not for me for a very long time. And that was my truth for a very, very long time. And then my experience with it changed and evolved over time because I had trusted teachers and trusted humans, trusted space holders. So can it be a bad vibe? Bad vibe? Yes. Can it be used for not good? Yes. I believe that's true of anything. I believe in the power of intention. If your intention is to quote unquote spell cast or like change what's already here for us in a way that isn't coming from a divine loving place, to me that doesn't feel good. You know, people who I've been to readers or practitioners, not even necessarily tarot, but healing practitioners, where it's like they're trying to force me into something or like preemptively like push me into something that I'm not ready for or hold me back from something for whatever reason. There's always layers to that, right? So if it's a bad vibe for you, I guess I'd say listen to that. Like, I'm not here to be a tarot reader that says, oh no, it's for everyone. I promise it's good. It will help you. That's not true for everyone. And I honor that. I think it's important.
And if I can just touch on that as well, when I first started doing Havana's 13 and I started working with crystals, there was a huge part of me that hid from that because I've been working with crystals since I was 20 years old. I got introduced to those, but there's also a misconception about that. And believe it or not, when I started talking about crystals, when I first started Havana's 13 3 or 4 years ago, I actually had another woman who went live talking about how I was a false prophet. And so that's why I just wanted to say, like, there's certain things that people feel. And I love what you said about the fact that you can turn anything good or bad. Like, I'm sure that there are, and I always talk about this in my lives, I'm sure that there are certain ways that other people use crystals. I'm only here to share with you how I use crystals, and I use crystals out of love intention. And what you said as far as the intention behind it, it is so important because I have also encountered tarot card readers that have been you can just feel that they're kind of sleazy. You can just tell that they're about the money and their fear. They're very fear-based. They want to scare you so that you keep coming back for more info. And for me, I never got that. I never got that from you. Like, I've never gotten that vibe from you at all. And I think it's really important that we do just state that like anything in life, anything can be good and anything can be made bad, right? Like, it's all about the intention behind it. And I absolutely love your intention because it ties so much into what I do with self. And especially last night when we did our little workshop that we did on just getting a pause with ourselves, right? Like, and how important that is. So what I love about you is that you're not just a card reader. You don't just sit here and give people information. And then now what do I do with this? All of a sudden I have to go home and be told that, you know, this is wrong with me or this is wrong with me, which is what I have experienced before, never with you. But I am saying that I think that's where a lot of the, coming sideways at the topic comes, is that there are people that will use this tool negatively, and that's where I feel that it has gotten the bad rap as far as that goes. And thank you so much, Tina, just for being open-minded and being here and listening to this, because the fact that you have that curiosity is absolutely amazing. And thank you so much, Michelle, for letting us know that. Right now we have Sierra here. And hi, Sierra, welcome. Thank you so much. Yes, Michelle Albers is legit. So Tina actually has a question right now. And this is an absolutely amazing question because Michelle and I were going to touch on this at the end, but she wants to know how she can get a reading. And we actually have a great deal for you. We have collaborated together, And I will send you that information, Tina, but it's an amazing deal. It's like for a great price, you get a self-care kit and a customized reading with Michelle. So, Michelle, if you don't mind just telling us, I'm going to put that in these comments after, Tina, and I'll also reach out to you. But I would just love for you to explain to us, because I have had people tell me, I'm not sure how I feel about that because I was told to never mess with that stuff, and I get it. So, can you tell us, when someone gets a reading with you, what is it that they're going to experience, right? Because this may be somebody's first time reading.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to touch on something before I go into the reading, but it's related. And that is,
Okay.
so tarot is 78 cards, and there's parts of the deck that give us information. Each part has different information to give us. But tarot it's the psychological lesson or learning of a lesson, the psychology of the lesson. And that was what changed my mind about tarot, when I realized that the cards are actually the journey from taking that first leap of faith all the way to having learned the lesson, whatever that lesson is. And that's a beautiful thing. So tarot can be, quote unquote, just logical. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It doesn't have to be witchy. It doesn't have to be, all these words that people throw out and make it feel or sound dangerous.
Right.
And so a reading with me, I am more logic meets magic. That's just kind of where I've landed, because I didn't start intuitive. I started with my own faith. I started with my own spirituality, but I didn't have a deep connection to my intuition when I very first started reading tarot. Now I have what my words would be: connection to my guardian angels and my spirit guides, and like direct dial to universe, source, creator, God, whatever your word is. And so my readings aren't just like take a card and be logical with it. It's like the cards tell a story. And sometimes within that story, I get more information. And again, I ask you if you're open to that. I ask you to get your ego out of the way, because our ego likes to get in the way. I mean, sometimes with tarot readers, that's the thing. Their pride is in the way, their need to prove something is in the way. And I'm not poo-pooing other readers. I'm just saying we have a human experience, and sometimes that stuff gets loud. So a reading with me, I mean, my spirit, I'm pretty direct, and I read the cards very, I guess, matter of factly. I don't really sugarcoat stuff, but I'm also not a jerk. But sometimes it's like, we get the message that we're in our own way, or we get the message that we've maybe been hanging too much in the past, or we get the message that maybe we haven't been the kindest to ourselves, and spirit is here, or the cards are here to tell us, hey, what if you tried it this way instead? Are you open to the possibility? And here's the other thing. This is the reason I don't like future predicting. I believe that our possibilities are limitless. How can we possibly know? We might know where we think we want to land, but I believe divine has bigger, better, brighter plans for us if we're open to them. And I don't think there's a wrong choice. I mean, that's maybe not fair. We can make some wrong choices, but they take us somewhere. We learn things. And so I just have this, I guess I'd say positive, but I don't want to get into bypassing or like toxic positivity or anything like that. I just think tarot can really support us on our journey and offer us guidance that we haven't been able to see, feel, hear, or know yet. And so it just gives us a snapshot of the energy right now. And if we love what we're hearing in the message of the cards, we can keep doing what we're doing because it's working. And if we don't love the energy of the cards, it gives us information of like, okay, how can I step in a different direction? And it might just be a quarter turn. It might not be a big, huge thing, but it can give us grounded guidance. I'm grounded and connected, right? As above, so below. Like it's all there for us. But ultimately, what it really is you connecting with you. If you're not open, I'm not going to get a lot of intuitive guidance. It's just going to be a very logical reading where we read the cards, and that's not bad. It's just different. Right. Does that help?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. And that's what I love about your method of reading, is that it's simply a guide, right? Like it's simply a guide. As far as my interpretation of it is, it's kind of like a snapshot, like you said, where you are right now. And what I love is that many times it's so accurate. It's like, wow, that is so accurate to where I am right now. And like you said, a reading for me, I feel like it's been mystified and it's been made so kind of elusive that if we do that, all of a sudden it's like, wow, what I wanted to come back to was your comments about how you do bring in the guardian angels and you do bring in your guides. And to me, that's so important. I don't work with people that do stuff that's harmful, first of all. And I wanted to make that clear that I absolutely love that you do this with a loving intention, and it's simply to help someone, because let's face it, there are so many times on our healing journey that we really just need some answers, right? As Tina mentioned earlier, we have so much going on, and many times it may be just an affirmation like, oh, wow, I really kind of had that feeling about that. And then we get a reading and it's like spot on to where we are. And as you said, this morning, my question, there was a question that was asked in a group. What are you grateful for? I am grateful today for my ability to choose, and to choose different. And for me, whenever you talk about what you do, the fabulous part, and how I love that this is part of helping people heal, is that you're giving people a snapshot to where they are currently at. And they have the choice to choose different. And that to me is so liberating, because sometimes we're headed down this road, right? And we know that we're headed down this road, we kind of know, but until we see that and we get confirmation of that, then we can make that choice to choose different. Do I want to take another path, or do I want to continue? And I just think that I'm just so grateful that you were here today to have this conversation and to be such a light and such a help to others that are navigating their way through life, because life gets heavy sometimes. And, you know, one thing that I love to do is talk about the reality of situations. You know, we can sugarcoat everything, but at the end of the day, all of us really struggle. And really, what I am so grateful for is to provide those that are struggling an opportunity to see where they're currently at. So thank you so much, Michelle. Right now, we don't have any more questions. If anyone else has any questions, please let us know. I did drop in the link, this self-care kit. So this self-care kit actually takes you to the website. So if you want to check it out, this self-care kit actually comes with some bath salts to recharge. It comes with some lotion to replenish, a candle for you to reflect, some Havana's 13 lip balm to moisturize your lips, and a crystal, a healing crystal. So I am so excited to be working with Michelle on this JD Choose Yourself basket. This basket is a deal because what you pay for the basket, you would normally pay for the reading alone or more. And, you know, this is, I was talking to Michelle about how I love to make healing tools accessible to others. And I'm just so grateful that you were able to do this, because I feel like this breaks down a lot of miscommunication once they get to experience you and once they get to see what that is. And many times we're taught fear because fear sometimes keeps us controlled. But what fear also does is it limits us to many experiences that could be great and could be helpful. And thank you so much for being a person that carries light with you and that does use light and uses love in your practice. As I mentioned before, I only work with practitioners that do that, and I'm so grateful that you're in my circle. I don't know what anyone else is doing, but I know what you're doing, and I know that it's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for being here today. And if there's anything else, Michelle, that you would like to add today, just please let us know. I mean, let me know right now, and we can do this.
Yeah, thank you. I think the biggest point here is there's many tools that we can use to connect with ourselves. And ultimately, that's what this is. I mean, choose yourself is all about who are you really? And what kind of, like, can you change your relationship to fear? You just brought up fear. So this is an example. Can you change your relationship to fear so that you can recognize that it might be there to tell you something or teach you something, but it doesn't have to be here to stop you. Sometimes it's meant to stop you, and that's a good thing. But also, it is one of those things that tends to, it's a lovely little excuse or way to avoid ourselves. And I think when we can connect with ourselves, and these tools, they help us do that. And it doesn't have to be tarot. There's many things, the soul care toolkit that we are collaborating on, it has many things that those tangible things help our human really, like, the more touch points there can be with our senses, the more we can actually embrace and integrate what we're doing. And I think that's what this is all about. No matter how you do it and how you show up, find a way to choose yourself, to connect with you, and to build self-love, self-trust, self-worth, self-confidence, all these self-words that people kind of get uncomfortable about. It's like, that is the road to healing. You are the road to healing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michelle. So, one last question that I have for you. If you had someone that was going through a really hard time right now, they really kind of didn't know what way to turn, they had some major decisions to make in their life, and um, just a lot that they couldn't really get grounded and what path to take. I know that you use tarot, but what other ways are there that you can help an individual besides tarot moving forward? Like, we have the reading, and then the follow-up would be for someone like that wanted help with the information that they received. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I said, all right, well, she just confirmed that I was on this path, and I really don't know what to do about that. I want help, but I don't know what to do about that. What would be the next step once they receive their reading from you? Are there other resources that you have for someone like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have free resources on my YouTube channel and on my website. I do coaching sessions anywhere from a half hour all the way up to, I want to say it's 2 hours, or I have a whole mastermind program where if you feel like you want deeper support, one-to-one with a whole lot of bonuses, because if you're going to, invest in the mastermind, I'm going to give you discounts on a lot of things, and just kind of, you just get a lot of perks with that. But it's a more expensive ticket. It costs more money. But just a simple, I think I called it a bad day, a bad day rescue, basically, where we can just meet for a half hour and, have a coaching conversation. I'm a spiritual coach. I'm an intuitive coach. I'm a grounded coach. I'm a get unstuck from the suck coach. I'm an accountability. I mean, I'm really just about introducing you to you in a new and different way. The capital S self, the part of you that really does know. We don't always know how to connect with that part of us. And that has been something that and I'm writing a book. I was going to say that's something I've been developing since 2011. And now I'm writing a book just because I want to get information out as much as I possibly can. People don't have to live a life of pain and dis-ease. People can find not every single moment of joy, but pockets of peace, pockets of joy, pockets of pain. And to be able to navigate all of that from our internal place of love and compassion, I mean, that changed everything for me. And it took me decades. And it doesn't take my clients decades, because there are ways we can do this that support ourselves in a way that actually moves. It's not all trial and error anymore. I learned a few things along the way, and I love sharing that with people because it stinks to be stuck.
It truly does. It really, really does. And I just wanted to talk about, the fact that many times a lot of the women that I work with and that have that attraction towards what I do, they're very strong, independent women. They carry everything on their back and they have so much to carry and they just need some help sometimes. But part of what I realize, and I've been there before, I'm coming out of that stage, is that many times they think that they have to carry this loaded backpack by themselves. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. The most life-changing thing that I ever did was realize that I could trust other people with my life, with my pain, with my feelings. And once we talked about that earlier, once you establish that trust with a practitioner or a coach or someone that is here to help you grow and getting to know yourself, the journey is such a huge journey, right? Sometimes we're thrown out of a location into another, as in my case, and all of a sudden we're being told we have to get to know ourselves. That's what I love about what you do, is many of us have no clue even where to begin, right? Like, okay, I know my favorite color is black, but what else am I supposed to do with this, right? So having someone like you that comes along with all these healing tools, and that's why I love to spotlight and promote all these practitioners, including yourself, because you guys bring so much ease. As you said, we're taught that, you know, especially in my culture, we're taught, oh, we have to carry this. You just got to be quiet about it. No, you fucking don't. You do not have to carry it, and life does not have to be miserable. There are options, there are solutions, there are people that care and that will help you. So, last thing I wanted to talk about is the virtual summit, which is where I really got to know you and what you do. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I have actually been a teacher in it, and I will be again this year. We're going to be doing some spirit dancing, which I absolutely love. So if you're interested in that, please contact us. It is a virtual summit. What I love about virtual is that I get to work with all these amazing people. I'm located in New Mexico. Michelle is located in Minnesota. And what magic when we have these events like the one that she's having, where you bring people from all over with the same purpose of healing. So if you could tell us a little bit more about that, how to get in touch with you, maybe what the details are about that.
Yeah, that'd be great. And it's global because it's virtual, right? Last time I had an instructor from Australia. This time we have an instructor from Czech Republic. I mean, it's a beautiful thing when we can get people together in a Zoom room. And as much as I struggled with virtual for a long time, I find it a beautiful way to connect and a way to do it from the comfort of your own home. You can be cozy in your jammies, and just show up in a really easy way. All you got to do is click a couple buttons. And so this one, the theme is creativity is good for the soul. And it's all about slowing down and really creating space to be creative. And that creativity, I find our mind gets busy, quote unquote, or focused on doing something creative through artistic, whether it be through expression of dance or there's a paper cutting class, there's a henna class, there's Zentangle and mandala classes. I mean, there's a lot, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I probably already listed too many because I'm forgetting someone, right? But there's just a million ways to slow down. We're doing some intuitive gallery readings. Sierra and I are going to do I'm going to do tarot, and she's going to do mediumship and intuition readings. And 90-minute classes this time to really slow down and really and you get to pick. There's 3 different classes, 2 to 3 different classes per session, where you get to just pick the ones that work for you, drop in. But the real intention of this is to connect people, to introduce practitioners to each other, students to each other, and all of the blend of that. And to maybe you'll meet or learn about a new modality that you haven't tried before. I think healing is it can be simple, but it's such a complicated thing. And we don't know what works for us unless we find it. And this is a way to just kind of drop a bunch of modalities into a room, and you get to play and get curious and see what might work for you. And these are people that I know and trust. And, like you said, you work with people that work in the light. It's like,
yes.
these people I've met on my journey, and they've touched and impacted my life in some way. And some of them are fellow teachers, some of them are my teachers, some of them are like we've been in classes together, and just in one way or another, they've all had an impact on my life. And I just think community is so important right now. It's easy to just stay in your house and not go anywhere. And you can stay in your house, not go anywhere, and connect with people from all over the world. And I think that's an amazing thing. And it's on my website. So as far as buying a ticket, and if you buy a ticket, please let me know which practitioner referred you, because I pay people to teach these things and I want to make sure you get paid. So that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you so much. Real quick, I just wanted to let them know that if they purchase, and I'm actually going to share my screen right here because I want to show our bucket that we have. So just to talk a little bit about what we have come up together with, let me show you this bucket right here. So this is our bucket. This is our JD Choose Yourself bucket. So if you are interested in it, you will get the items that are pictured in this photo right here. And if you could tell us a little bit about the additional reading. So what does that look like? They order this bucket. They're going to get the bucket and a card from me. And then what do they do?
So then on that card, it'll describe to them about the reading. And this is a reading I don't do anywhere else, because when you do a reading, you can ask questions or look for specific things to get guidance on. And this one is specific to soul care, self-care, that aligns with the bucket to support that journey. And so all they have to do is send me a message. It says on the postcard, so it'll be really easy. And then I will send you, it'll probably be a voice recording. I usually do them on WhatsApp or Telegram. I could do it via text or email as well. And I send a picture of the cards, and then you get messy me. And I say that just like now. Sometimes when I'm getting downloads, I get a little, like my speech gets a little faster or maybe a little stuttery, but I just give you real time, real answers or guidance. Answers is a strong word. Guidance. The messages I'm receiving through the cards, what I know about the tarot cards, and what I know about my spirit guides and guardian angels connecting with your spirit guides and guardian angels, if you're open to that. And we just see where we go. And I'm always open to questions too. Can I show you something about something you said earlier?
Yes.
You were describing how, people you connect with and even yourself think that you have to do it all yourself, and it gets heavy. This backpack gets heavy. You were describing the 10 of Wands. That is the message of the 10 of Wands. It's like you have this ox right next to you that can carry all these things, and instead you're carrying them yourself. And you maybe just could use a little help, and don't be afraid to ask for help. It's right there for you, and you're resisting that for whatever reason. And Spirit says, ask someone for help. It's right next to you. Or just poke your head up and look around and see what might be helpful for you. And so the way you were talking, I was like, that's exactly how the message comes in when the 10 of Wands comes up. It's like it's there. You're almost done, but you're tired. And you're tired because you're not letting anyone help you. You don't have to be tired, but you are. So I just thought that was fascinating.
Oh, yeah, that is fascinating. And that you bring that up, because my experience is like, I tend to do that, right? That's my default. It's like, oh, I'm going to move this whole couch by myself. I got this, And at the end of the day, that's not the way. What I love about even that information is like a card like that, right? A card like that, when I get a card like that in a reading, it kind of brings me back to asking myself, okay, are you pushing help away again? Are you refusing to ask for help? And those tiny bits of information, even though we may know that we're doing it, having a reading that actually points that out and confirms that is the type of information that I have found so helpful, because it's confirmation that yes, you need to slow down and you need to ask for help. You don't need to do this all yourself. And that's what I love about just that example that you shared, that was absolutely amazing. So thank you for that. And
I just want to honor
yeah,
the deck that I was using. I was using the Light
okay.
Seers deck by Chris Ann. So I like to honor the decks that I use. I don't just use them and not share what they are. Or, yeah.
And I think that's so important too, because as I mentioned at the beginning of this, different readers use different decks and different cards. And your cards, as you just showed us, the light seers, it's of light. It's something that is lighthearted. It's light energy. It's vibration is absolutely great. So I hope that if you guys have learned anything today, if you could please just put it in the comments. If this has kind of eased your apprehension or educated you in some way, that has kind of brought down those fear walls of fear. If you want to get in touch of Michelle, she is on Facebook and she is active on Facebook. Her upcoming event that she will be having, if you do hear about that here, please let her know. We do get credit for that, so please let her know. As I mentioned, I will be a practitioner in this event. If you're interested in ordering the bucket, as we just showed you, it's $40 and it comes with a whole lot of healing tools. And many times we think that, we don't spend on ourselves. We think until the last minute. But I want to encourage you today to think about every time that you spend money, attention, or time on yourself, you're actually infusing more love into your life because you're starting with yourself. So many times we expect treatment from others. That's unreasonable because we're not even giving that to ourselves. So if you're one that skimps on treating yourself to a self-care item, something like a coach, something like a reading, something like a self-care kit, I'm encouraging you today to take that perspective and maybe just look at it a little and maybe just be more flexible with that idea of your worth in relation to what you spend on yourself. As for me, I think this was absolutely amazing. And Michelle, they can connect with you on Facebook. Her name is spelled right here on the screen. It's Michelle, Aalbers, Albers. Make sure you do the double A. Sometimes I mess that up. Please add her. Please connect with her. The thing with Havana's 13 is I love working with everyone because there is not one way that you heal. I have not experienced, and I'm still healing. As Michelle mentioned, we're still on this healing journey, right? So if we can get tools that help us, maybe something that we never tried because we've been so closed-minded, but if it takes you to another level of growth, another level of happiness, of peace in your life, it's all worth it. Thank you so much, guys, for being here today. And thank you, Michelle. And
Thank you. I just saw another comment that I want to address. Tina, you said you believe in these type of things, but I would need to give you a sample of your cards before I tell you anything that's going on. You don't have to tell me anything that's going on. Sometimes it's none of my business. It's only yours. But I can still deliver a message that resonates with you or not. It might not. But I find I don't need to know your specific question. The cards will speak to you and you get to interpret them in your way. And if you have questions, I'm always like, it's not like I do a reading and then that's it, close the door. I'm open to, if something's not clear or it doesn't make sense, I'm open to questions. So, I mean, if it's a full-blown coaching session, that's a different thing. But often it's like a little bit of a back and forth. But I always tell people, hold your question in your heart. And then you don't have to tell me anything. If you want to, you can, but it's not required. And it's just magical how, I mean, you just can't make it up. You just can't make it up. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it was like over and over again, I would receive that validation is what made me realize, oh, this is legit divine for me. This is a divine tool and it's amazing. So yeah.
Yes. And I do like that you mentioned that because I have had those readings where someone will sit there and they'll like, for me, that never seemed legit because you're basically asking me what you're going to tell me. And what I love Like literally, you're getting information from me and then you're going to tell me what I just told you. And I have experienced readers like that. So I much prefer when you give the information and then we kind of will feel that. What does that feel for like for us, right? And then any clarification can be further done. But thank you so much, Tina. She said yes, thank you. So I love that. Yeah, and if there's any other questions, please message myself or Michelle. Let us know how you liked that live. Thank you so much for being spiritually curious today. Thank you so much for going outside of your comfort zone, because I know this is outside of many people's comfort zone. Thank you so much for joining us for this hour that we sat here and had this amazing conversation. I will tell you that time flies when you're having fun. And Michelle knows that I never speak this much, but always on her stuff, you cannot shut me up.
It's such a beautiful thing. It's so good, girl. Thank you so much, Allegra. I appreciate you.
And thank you so much to everyone that watched us today. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. Thanks so much for the interaction. Much love. Tina, Sherry, Mary, thank you so much for joining us. We love you guys. Have an amazing day today, and we'll see you soon.